Devin Cole.
Nate Hicks.
Welcome to the program.
Thanks, buddy.
It's been a minute since we've been on here together and just chopped it up like old times.
Old times, yeah.
And this happens to be a morning pod. We both got a cup of Joe in our hand here. I'm gonna quickly slurp that.
Give it a coffee slurp, yeah.
But what I want to talk about with you is, we're like in a rut. I guess the rut's not the right word. We're in a season.
We're in a groove, yeah.
Yeah. And, I'm driving here this morning and I'm thinking, man, we have so many rich memories 3 to 4 years ago, like where I'm driving to meet you to get into a truck, sit in a parking lot of a meat store and record a podcast.
That's right.
We would do that once a week. We went through a phase where we were sitting in your double wide trailer, making product while we're recording a podcast, and there was no air conditioning in there.
Yeah, that one was a season of life for sure.
There was a period of time where we were living in that other house that you owned with Gus, that blonde lab that was annoying.
Oh yeah,
recording a podcast in the basement in your little gear room. Remember that?
I do. That's way back.
That's where it all started. And now, I'm driving here this morning. I'm just thinking, man, we've come a long way, and we've become so diverse in what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
And this right here, you and me sitting down and getting to talk about deer hunting and property and this, that, and the other, it's kind of slowly fizzled, and it's something that I love doing.
Oh, me too. Me too. It feels like, I feel like we've had so much going on, so many things to accomplish, so many projects, personally and then in business as well. And babies are coming and, everything's just going on. And the way that we've historically sat down and geeked out about hey, these are the projects I'm working on my farm this year. And here's what I'm, that stuff just has slipped a little this year.
A little. I mean, if you were to tell me, hey, what bucks are you I don't even have cameras deployed. I have nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got nothing. But you just said something key a handful of months ago. We decided we're going to have kids the exact same week again.
Yeah. Have we even talked about that?
I don't know.
I'm sure we've I don't know. Yeah.
So
your first son, Ridge.
Yeah. Break that down.
My second son, Reese, were born within a week of each other. I think
they're 7 days apart.
Yeah, they are. And those fellers are coming up on 2 years old here.
Those fellers.
They are. They're coming up on 2 years old in September.
Yep.
But before we get to September, in August, we got another batch coming out the oven about 7 days apart.
We got another batch coming. Fresh batch.
I know that I'm having a third son. You guys have not found out the gender yet.
That's correct.
That's kind of exciting. I think if my wife could stand the not knowing, I probably would have done it. Especially for a third, why not? But she has to know.
Yeah, it is weird. It is weird because I think the trajectory of our family, the dynamic is going to change if it's a boy or if it's a girl.
Right. I can imagine how different it might be too, because we already have a name picked out, so we're already referring to him as such. You know what I mean? You have a connection with him already, even though he's in there,
right?
Because you know who he is, and he's
exactly.
A he. Yeah. You have no idea. It's just this mystery person in there.
It's true. So our son Ridge, I'm like, Bubba, there's a baby in mama's tummy. And I'm trying to explain to him, but it'd be a lot easier if I could say, hey,
you got a little brother in there.
Your little brother's coming, or your little sister's coming.
Yeah.
And, everybody asks me like, hey, what do you think? And which one do you want? And I'm like, I don't really have a feeling either way. And I selfishly think I want a girl for my wife.
Yeah.
But I kind of like, my son doesn't like to like snuggle with dad or anything either. So like, it might be nice to have a girl that snuggles with you.
Oh yeah.
Like he's all boy. And so I never really got the.
But that's a whole nother thing too, right? Like who Ridge becomes when he's got a little sister versus if he's got another little brother.
Totally different.
Changes, right?
Yeah.
Like a little sister would soften you and him.
Mm-hmm.
Another little brother, he's just going to dig in deeper. There's going to be a couple of knuckleheads running around.
Little softening wouldn't be bad for him, though. he's
yeah, dude.
He's pretty stiff.
Yeah. I'm super excited to have another little boy coming. But if you would have asked me before we found out, like, which one are you hoping it is? I was excited to maybe have a little girl.
Mm-hmm.
Why not?
Why not?
But 3 boys. We're going to have 3 boys under the age of 4 for a short period of time there. Rhett will turn 4 very quickly, but yeah, we're going to have 3 under 4, and it's going to be the wild, wild west over here.
Yeah, and I think, too, like, kind of what I mentioned, like, we don't have, I'm speaking for myself, like, if you back up 3 years, 2 years,
Mm-hmm.
my priorities in the month of July
We're different.
Then and now. I mean, might as well just flip it upside down.
Yeah.
And it's not to say that white-tailed deer hunting isn't like that. Like that's my passion, right? Like that's your passion. That's what we're here for. Everybody knows that. We don't got to justify any of that. But it's just like the priorities definitely shifted to
running a business, running businesses, being a dad.
Like that's the most important thing, I think.
Being a dad.
It is.
Yeah.
It just is, because that's a fleeting thing, and like you're only important for so long before.
Yeah, and I've heard Dr. Jordan Peterson say it, like that 0 to 4 is like so critical. Like he says it this way, like you have young kids or you have babies for 4 years. If you miss it, it's gone. That's like a pink experience. That's where it is.
The formative years.
I mean, many of the years are formative, but that 0 to 4 is like, that's what counts. And if you miss it, it's gone. And so it's like, what, you're going to miss the 0 to 4 with your son for some whitetail deer? No, definitely not.
Yeah. It's funny because like I still am, but I played the point game with a lot of the Western states.
Yeah.
And I'm like extremely, extremely invested from like a dollar standpoint. Like if you sit down and look at the year over year investment with, Colorado, Wyoming, Utah, I'm just like invested.
Iowa too.
Iowa. Arizona. Arizona's I'm probably most invested in. Anyway.
I thought you had something in New Mexico too, didn't you?
No, not as much.
Are they not a point? Do they not do the point thing?
I don't even remember off the top of my head.
Okay.
But anyway, all this to be said, like, I'm just like thinking about that now, and I'm like, am I ever going to use that?
Well, I think it's actually, I would think about it entirely differently. Like, I would think about it as like an investment. It's like you're putting money in an index fund. You know what I mean? Like, you're realistically, you're probably not going to use it now, but keep putting in your freaking chips. And then at some point, our boys are going to get to an age where dad isn't cool anymore.
That's when you check. Yeah, that's when you cash them.
And we both started having kids at a pretty young age, which sort of was by design. Like, at least with on my end, like when we started having babies, I told my wife, like, let's get it in.
Let's get them out.
Like,
Yeah,
we're in diaper phase, so start the clock and like let's get through it and get out.
Yeah.
So I think this is us. This is it for us. And but we got 3 boys here, done, and then I'm gonna be a pretty young dad and still have a lot of adventure to go do. And with any luck, like if we're not, the last thing I want to do is force this whitetail obsession down their throats, but the way that they've just been exposed to it already with the shop being here, and like they come down here and they come in this studio and they're like, big buck.
Yeah, it's
Right?
kind of hard to miss it.
And they go to the back window and they look at the deer and all the does in the backyard, and they're like, hey ladies, like they are just around it and they already love it. And I'm just going to try very hard not to screw that up. And like, you know, spend as much time hunting with them as I can. And then when they don't think I'm cool anymore, then I can, you know, be a little more selfish and go out of state. And not that's not to say I'm not going to take any out of state trips in the next 18 years. Like I'm obviously going to. Mm-hmm. But for me, like saving up some of those points for those big hunts that you've got something to look forward to, and that's exciting still.
I'm really like some of the things I really want to do, specifically with you, is like go on like a really high country, like sheep type hunt.
Yeah, me too.
Where you're in the alpine like the whole time.
Yeah.
Above 12,000, and you're just like hunting hard. It's more of like a physical thing than it is anything else. Like I like that. I like that type of challenge, and that's the one where I think about having a family, and like you got to be in shape for that.
Oh yeah,
that's not an old man game.
No, and if you're not in shape, like you're doing yourself and your family potentially a disservice. Like don't go on the hunt.
Yeah,
like because you could be a liability. Like don't. Like that's a tough, rigorous hunt.
Yeah,
and if you have no business being up there, be honest with yourself. That's the way I look at that one.
But yeah, like juggling that with kids and everything, it's just that's part of it now. And I think we're learning. I think we're learning as we go, and I think everybody does. But
oh yeah,
it's just wild, man. I mean, that, like you said, that batch. We got a fresh batch coming.
Fresh batch.
And I think I'm in for not a rude awakening, but I'm in for some. Like it's been a while since we've been in the diaper phase type thing, or diaper phase, but baby.
Do you
phase.
guys like almost like you find you and your wife like talking like how do we do this? Like I don't remember what we did, or I don't like my wife and I don't remember is because we've done it twice obviously, but like we're starting to bring baby stuff upstairs and she's like doing her nesting and getting the nursery set up, and I'm just like I don't even remember washing bottles and like doing all this stuff. Like it becomes this blur. And I'm like, what if we don't remember how to do this?
Yeah. I put together a bassinet yesterday.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh yeah. Yeah, they sleep in our room for the first forever. Like, great. I'm not going to sleep for a while.
Yeah.
That kind of hit me hard. I'm like, oh, where's the bassinet go, honey? She goes, oh, right here in the bedroom. I'm like,
oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Yeah.
Yeah. And we're like, you know how it is, but you reshuffle the house. You're like, hey.
Oh yeah.
Where's where are they going to sleep long term? And you're like looking at the future, and all of a sudden,
yeah. I mean, and your situation's even a little more different, right? Like everything's kind of up in the air at the moment. So I can imagine shuffling everything around and just like, it's like, what are we doing?
I know.
Yeah, no, and for me too. Like I've had, we had another property that we were renovating that we just finally got sold and got checked off my plate this spring. That was another, distraction or thing kind of looming over me, taken away from spending any time in the woods. But then on that list of projects, like I've had some things here, fun stuff, but also just things that are needing to get wrapped up. And I'm like looking at the clock here on the cookies, and I'm like, they're coming. So I'm trying to get some things checked off before baby gets here. And that was this weekend for me. It was like just checking things off the honey-do list.
Yeah. It's funny because we slightly pivoting the topic, but not really. Like we've told people this, but like your pole barn is where Painted Arrow
resides currently.
Like that's where it's at.
That's it.
And it's funny because when we decided that, I didn't have a kid. I don't believe.
No, you didn't. No, you definitely didn't.
So it's like
let's think back and be very strategic here. So
I'm pretty sure I didn't have a kid because I was down here framing this out, insulating, hanging.
Yeah, you didn't have a kid.
There's no way.
No.
I don't even remember the exact
I
timing.
remember the early morning podcasts right after you had a kid, right? Like, you know what I mean?
Well, the thing is like, yeah, I definitely didn't. When it was a crazy random Tuesday morning, I'm driving around the roundabout on my way here, and you and I had a conversation where like Painted Arrow was at a point where like a little bit of it was in your house. A little bit more of it was in my house because we were shipping out of my house.
Yep.
And then my mom in her basement, her whole entire basement was all of our components because she was producing the product.
Yeah. So she would assemble. Yeah. We had stuff in 3 different zip codes.
100%.
Literally those 3 locations you just said were all 30 minutes from each other. And it was like pinball.
It was a triangle.
It didn't work.
So I remember though.
Well, it worked for a while, but
we were driving, or I was driving, you were driving somewhere else, but I was going through this roundabout and you called me and you're like, hey, what if we just use, and you just had bought this place. You're like, what if we use that second pole barn and make it headquarters? And I said, yes, let's do that.
I literally called you and I'm like, it's not ideal because you live 40 minutes away. But we can't keep doing this. We've got stuff in 3 different areas. Spot. You were either just getting ready to or had just quit your job. And it was like, we need a spot. Like, we need a singular drop zone where we can meet, where we can do podcasts, where everything is. But even then, all we did originally was consolidate your house, my house into this facility, and assembly was still off site at your mom's house.
Correct.
For some time. And then that was the next thing that we moved in and finally got everything under one roof. But yeah, there wasn't a ton of thought there. It was like I had just moved in and went from absolutely no storage space at my previous house to an attached garage plus 2 pole barns. Like, at the time I didn't need the extra pole barn. Like, I was just like, I could fit everything in my shop. I'm good. Like, let's just put everything in the Painted Arrow shop.
That's right.
And that other barn and make it the Painted Arrow shop. And that's got us
pretty far.
Actually, you want to hear something interesting? Is this October, I will have been here for 3 years. So we're coming up on 3 years in here. It's pretty wild.
It is. We've built our company.
Well, we're coming up on 2.5 because I think I owned it for about 6 months before we decided to.
In our infancy, we were Painted Arrow was born and raised in 3 different zip codes. Mm-hmm. And I remember it like very well because like if we were doing like a promo video or something, like I'd have to drive to your house to get the bow, to then go get a piece of gear to then put on at my house, and then we would find a place to actually film it, and then maybe I'd go up in my pole barn loft, and then it was like a huge endeavor for me to do one task, and that's why I was like, despite the drive, like, yes, like it would help everybody if we had everything in one location. So I remember you made that option on the table, and I just remember saying like, let's do it. Mm-hmm. Next thing you know, 2 days later, we had lumber delivered. We started framing,
cutting holes to the side of the building for windows.
Put in the window. Like, all of a sudden, we have a little studio.
Yeah.
And we took our time on it. We did it right. We made it look good. We brought some of the deer heads down here, and all of a sudden, we had Wi-Fi. Boom, lights are on. Got some new lights. We built some tables. We had bow bench.
Got some racking.
We threw together some different office desks, and all of a sudden, Painted Arrow's in here.
Yeah.
It happened quick.
It did.
Fast forward till right now. Mm-hmm. Life's a little different. It wasn't as simple then. We got more mouths to feed. We got different projects in the air, but you and I hedged by buying this facility down the road. Yeah. And that's kind of like the next phase of where we're going. And I'm real excited about it because, we knew about the building that we had purchased, before we actually bought it. We knew about it months beforehand, but it just the timing, and it just, we didn't know where we were going to land. Every year we're still learning about the business and how to manage cash and like all that.
It is funny how many times we talked about that building though.
Yeah.
like even after because we went through it originally before it was anywhere near the state it was when we ended up buying it.
Correct.
Because the person who owned it was trying to sell it sort of as an as-is deal. And that's when we looked at it originally. And then it didn't sell, and they took it off the market and decided they were going to do a bunch to it and put it back on the market. And I remember we walked through there and it was rough. We just didn't have the vision, nor the time, nor the energy to take on that magnitude of a project.
Yeah, more.
But I remember, because of its location and proximity, and it's like in our little hometown, we would always be like, dude, what if we do just pull the trigger on that building? Nah, I don't know. But like it kept coming back up over and over and over and over.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget the drive on our way home. We were like, dude, we just need to like.
We did our Prime thing.
Yeah, we were coming back from Prime headquarters, and
that's crazy. That was not that long ago, dude.
No, it was February, I think. Yeah, it was February.
Yeah, we went up to see Prime.
So that was 5 months ago. Wow. And we called our boy, and we're like, hey, remember that property you showed us? It's not on the market anymore, but can you get a hold of the guy and find out if he just took it off the market or if it did sell, and what the situation is there?
And they're like, yeah, we're getting ready to relist it.
Yeah, and it was like boom, bam, bing. All right, can we go see it again? Yep. Okay, make an offer. Bam.
Within a week after that, we owned it.
Yeah.
We closed.
It was wild. Anyway, but yeah, like we are very quickly coming to the end of a chapter, but like getting ready to start another really exciting one.
It's a big, like, if you're reading a great novel,
yeah,
this is like 3/4 of the way through where something big happens. Maybe not 3/4, but you know what I'm saying? Like, you get into the novel and it's like you're waiting for the bam. Yeah. That's what this is.
I've been saying this quote a lot because I like it, and I think it applies here again. And I think it's Winston Churchill. But this is not the end. This is not even the beginning of the end. This is the end of the beginning. That's the way I feel about this, right? Like we're at the very beginning of the book, and we're wrapping up the very intro to the book, and now it's time to get to the good stuff. And it's just exciting, but everything we've talked about so far is just we've just had a ton going on. Like when we started listing all the reasons why we haven't spent a lot of time talking about deer hunting or spent a lot of time in the woods at the beginning of this podcast, we didn't even originally mention the new facility we're currently renovating and trying to get moved into.
Well, there's like 3 things that I haven't mentioned that I'm not going to mention yet until it happens. And then that's really going to spark the next chapter.
What's maybe most interesting is for people who have followed this podcast for a good while, if you were to reverse somewhere around 2 to 3 years, around the time frame when you quit your job. I remember we did a podcast where you talked at length about the number of life transitions that you were going through at one time.
Oh yeah.
Right? Like new house, baby, quit your job. All 3, same exact time. And I remember we both were like, I don't know if it can get crazier or more overwhelming than that. Like doing that many big life things at once. It can't.
No chance.
Between the two of us, everything we have going on right now that we're trying to get pushed over the finish line, it's like
up the ante a little.
It is way more complex than that.
Oh yeah.
3 times more overwhelming than that.
Especially when you're baking. Like we're chefs. We got a fresh batch coming.
And there's a timer. There's a timer. Yeah. So anyway, I'm excited. I'm excited to do some deer hunting. I'm excited for it, but
there's a little there's just more there.
More
in the fire at this time.
It's kind of been good for me with my property though, because when I've got too much time on my hands, I'm spending a bunch of time out there, and it's like when I don't have a bunch of time on my hands, I'm just leaving it for the deer. Like that's great. Right?
That's right.
With a 40-acre piece like this, there's a good chunk of it that I should just leave alone for all 12 months of the year for the deer hunting to be as good as it could be. And when I've got plenty of time on my hands and way too many projects to do, I find myself out there more than I probably should be for the hunting to be as good as it could be.
Yeah.
But this year it's like I've checked some boxes and done some stuff, but I learned some super valuable lessons about this property last year.
Tell me about that.
Like big time. I definitely hunted it the wrong way and overhunted it in a certain spot that no question hurt the property. But it's almost like I had to touch the stove to know it was hot type deal. There is a stand location at the back of my property. That's like a really good vantage point out in the middle of this swamp, touching other really big parcels. And when you hunt that spot, you can just see a long way. And every time you go out there, you just feel like you're getting a peek at something you're not supposed to see. Like you just see, like there's just big deer using this swamp system. And they might not necessarily be, most of the time they're not on my property, but it's just this big observation location where I'm able to just see how the deer use this big swamp bottom and just get my eyes on big deer. And that becomes addicting. But at some point you got to look yourself in the mirror and it's like, okay, I'm seeing big bucks every time I'm out there, but never once are they incentivized to walk by that stand location. And so I'm doing nothing other than hurting my property to access all the way through the full length of my property to get to that spot. It's not doing myself any favors. Mm-hmm. And so that spot specifically though, it just became obvious that spot, which I hunted a lot last year, that spot is probably one that you hunt one, maybe two times a year. And you go in there and you sit all day. Mm-hmm. That's not one that you can hunt a couple times a week.
Right.
And that was very obvious to me. That became very obvious to me. And then personally, I've got this nice manicured clover plot right behind the house here, tucked in, behind these pine trees. And my son's turning 4 this year, and I got a box blind sitting up right over that manicured clover plot with
It's a big addition to the property.
Yeah.
We didn't really talk about that.
Point being, the thing I am most excited for this year, I've given myself a personal challenge. I'm taking my 4-year-old hunting. We're going to go in that box blind, and I'm trying to shoot a deer with my bow with a 4-year-old in the blind with me this year. Like, can I get him to stay quiet enough to crack a window open and get an arrow off? Maybe it's a buck, maybe it's a doe, probably a doe. But that's like the challenge and the exciting thing for me this year is getting to go hunt with my son for the first time.
He's going to freak out.
He's definitely going to freak out. He has this little bow with suction cup arrows. He's going to bring that with us. I'm probably going to film it and let him shoot an arrow right out the window. Maybe at a deer. Why not?
I would get him shooting a 22. Like ASAP. And then either bring that up there and let him shoot a rabbit or a hedgehog or a squirrel, or start training him on a 22, and then as soon as he can, put a freaking 450 in front of him with a suppressor and let him bang. Let him rip. Let him eat.
Let him bang, yeah.
Maybe a 350.
350 Legend, yeah.
That's probably a little bit more.
Yeah.
You don't need the 450, do you?
No.
Not at that close range.
Not that one with that muzzle brake in a box blind either. You'd be deaf. Anyway, I've learned some things hunting this property every year. Last year, I overcooked the grits, and this property, like, there's just a spot that has to be very clearly has to be all deer all the time, and you go in there 1 or 2 times a year. And that's it. The rest of the time, you let the deer come to you. So the approach this year is night and day different for me from what I actually did last year. And I think it's going to work out better. I do.
Yeah, I would agree. I think this is a cool property because it's just got so many little sections, and it's got a lot to offer. It's got a lot of diversity. Mm-hmm. And I think that the changes that you've implemented, which it's not a short list,
Right.
in a couple of years anyway. Like specifically the box blind there.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's a spot too. Like on
wind,
almost any wind except for a straight north or something like that. Like you could basically get in there and just scratch the itch of, oh, I'm hunting today, and if something comes through, like, and it's not like it's a bad spot.
Yeah.
You can see some really like top end stuff come through.
That's the crazy part is last year when I kept over hunting that spot all the way at the back of the property, and then I would check cameras, I would find that I was leaving deer to go find deer. Like I was basically walking past all the action to go back to this observation spot where I'd see some big bucks way off. But the plot right behind the barn that the box blind's over, some of the biggest deer I had on camera all last year were in daylight in that plot. Right there.
Right behind your house.
Right there.
Yeah.
And it's like, what am I doing?
That's the best too when you get because I remember the Cadmus property that I own.
Mm-hmm.
There's a 165-inch deer 50 yards behind the barn.
Right.
That's a winning setup.
Yeah.
Everybody's winning when the deer are comfortable 50 yards behind the pole barn.
That's right.
That deer right there.
Right behind the pole barn.
Hitting a scrape on a mulberry tree branch.
Mm-hmm.
Can't beat it. Right on the edge of the CRP.
Mm-hmm.
Missed that.
Yeah.
Why'd I sell that one?
Lots of reasons.
Yeah. But the deer hunting there was good.
There are necessary endings.
Yeah, speaking of necessary endings, like there's a couple things on the next
It's got to be the
one or
next
two podcasts. We're gonna be
laying out some good stuff.
Laying out like
spreading the peanut butter, laying it on thick.
The frosting's going on the cake type thing.
Yeah,
and it's gonna really give you guys a glimpse of the next chapter, the next phase, the next mission, the next set of goals. And I wish we could dive into it right now. We don't even have enough time to do that, but it's just kind of a cliffhanger maybe that we leave to just kind of like let you guys know that this next phase for Painted Arrow is going to be, I mean, it seems like we always say that though. Like, hey, this next thing, we're the hype
just
guys. Wait. Yeah. You just wait, guys. Like, this is bigger and better and different, and we have different goals, and
But that's who we are. Like, if you've gotten to know us personally at any level, either through this podcast or meeting us at shows, like, growth in any area of life just sets us on fire. Like that, we're growth minded, and driven by the opportunity to do more, do better. It's just, I mean, that's the athlete in us. And that this next season is no different.
Yeah. Really quick, I want to tell you something that I was texting with Spencer Sutliff.
Oh yeah.
From Domain. Mm-hmm. He's been on the podcast. He's a good friend of ours. Great dude. Good company. Anyway.
Good company. Yeah.
He's down at the World Deer Expo, and he said, this is feedback from yesterday. So if this person's listening, listen up. But he goes, hey, somebody came up to me at the show and goes, man, your voice sounds really familiar. Were you interviewed on the Painted Arrow podcast? No joke.
That's awesome.
Down there in Birmingham, Alabama.
Birmingham is what I thought.
And that's just cool to me that somebody
somewhere,
like we're thousands of miles away from there, but somebody listens to that and like picks him out and has the presence of mind in the conversation to like bring that up. I just thought that was really cool feedback.
Absolutely. And then the fact that Spencer then reached out to you to tell you, like, that's cool.
Yeah. So if you're listening, that person, thanks for that feedback.
Yeah, whoever you are.
But what do you got? What do you got for a closing thought, man? We kind of dabbled. We haven't really caught up in a while, but
yeah, that was kind of more of a housekeeping episode than anything. And you might be more confused now than you were when you started listening. But I think the next couple episodes, things will start to make a little more sense. Just a lot of life change right now. I'm excited for deer season in a way I never have been. Like, you know how they say when you have a kid, like nobody can explain to you that love. Like there's no way to even explain it to somebody until it just happens. Like, I never understood the thought process around, when you hear a dad say like, I don't even like shooting deer anymore. I'm just excited to see my kids get them.
Yeah.
That still never made sense to me. I was like, there's no way. Like, I'm still going to want to shoot the big buck. I don't want my sons to shoot it. But the excitement I have inside of me right now to take my son hunting for the first time this year, like nothing else matters, actually. Like, I'm so fired up to go hunting with him.
Yeah. It's weird. I'm not even in a place where I'm like excited to hunt this year. And
Wow.
here's what I'll say to back that up. Like, of course I love deer hunting. I'm not saying I don't, but like I walk in the door and my 2-year-old goes, Dad, 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 Dad. And all of a sudden I can just hear footsteps across the floor.
Yeah.
Coming to meet me.
Yeah.
Like that is everything to me.
Yeah.
Like I'm not going to have that forever.
No.
And like right now, it's weird. Like I have it's like a unspoken anxiety that like when I leave, it's like I feel like I'm in a rush all day, but it's really just to get back home and spend time with that dude.
It's like a fear of missing out, the FOMO while you're gone away from him.
Yeah, but like I'm top of mind right now. I'm like the single most important thing of his day. Think about that. I'm his single most important thing in his whole world is me right now.
That's exactly how Reese is right now.
And like, am I excited to deer hunt? Yeah, but like,
I'm not gonna miss out on that.
More than anything, that's what's important to me. Mm-hmm. And like, I can't. I'm not taking him hunting this year. Like, he's just too young.
Yeah, that's too busy.
It's not possible. I mean, anything's possible, but it's just like almost a waste of time to take him out into the woods.
Yeah,
it's gonna be. We're out within 2 minutes kind of thing because he's wanting to get out of the whatever. Mm-hmm. But anyway, my point is like I'm not really like thinking right now like, man, I'm ready for deer season. Like I got another baby coming here. I don't even know if I'm going to get out. Like we've never had 2 kids. Mm-hmm. Like how is that going to work?
It's different.
Like how is that going to work?
Yeah.
Like honey, I'll see you in a couple hours. Here's 2 kids.
You
now.
got them? Yeah.
Like I don't know how that's going to work. I'm not really thinking about hunting at all. I know that sounds crazy.
Yeah.
I'll get my shot. I'll get my opportunity. I've hunted now for years, decade.
Yeah.
Every year you get a shot.
Opportunity. Yeah.
You just do. I don't know why or how or that works out, but every year you get like I've been presented with a opportunity. And I think this year I'm just going to take every single thing that I've ever learned in the deer hunting woods and I'm going to just
be ready.
Channel it in.
Yeah.
When I'm there, whatever walks by, it's in danger because I'm giving it decades of experience in the woods is going to be throttled at that single animal, whether it's, I don't even care what it is.
Yeah.
But like, again, I'm not even like thinking about the X's and O's of deer hunting. Like I'm just not.
You hear people though talk about, I've shot more big deer and been more successful when I started hunting less. Like that's just how it works. You're not in the woods overpressuring it. And when you have the opportunity, you make it count. That's the next season of our life. I don't even want to say unfortunately. Like that's the reality of the next handful of years of our life. Like you don't know how much you're going to get out. There's going to be really good days of hunting you're going to miss. But when you do get out, you make it count. You take all of the opportunities and all of the things you've learned and you make it count at that moment. Mm-hmm.
There's like a book that isn't written about like the reality of having a family. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no book that explains what your wife is going to like do when she's pregnant. There's no book. You know what I'm saying? There's no book that explains the realities. Yeah. I don't want to dig into that too much because we could go off on 1,000 ways, but I just like, I feel like I'm learning as a dude right now, as a man, as like a father. Like you don't really know until you get there and you kind of just figure it out.
You fall into all these new duties you didn't even know anything about.
and a lot of times people crumble under the pressure, but like, I feel like you and I, we get it, we get cornered and we just start punching our way out.
Yeah,
like,
show some teeth and
yeah,
yeah.
You're the Bengal tiger
Yeah.
cornered in the corner, and you have a couple options. Either going to fight your way out, or you're going to fail under the pressure. But yeah, that's where I'm at right now. We're getting into the prime time of the season. We're getting into August. August is like, that's
not
it.
Quite. We're middle of July.
I know, but we're scratching on August's door right now.
We are. Yeah. We're coming up to him.
And that's when the
getting gets good. Yeah.
It's like everybody's.
That's when you start cranking the tractor.
People have no idea like the amount of isms we have.
Yeah.
But okay, long ending there. But yeah, guys, lots coming, lots to share. I'm happy we got to kind of do our
set the stage a little and catch up. Yeah.
Just the catch up, man. We haven't got to like catch up like this and kind of bring people in on our personal lives and kind of what we're dealing with, because this has been just bumping around, pinball, doing the next obvious thing to try and keep afloat. So
that's kind of what it is. Like, there's a bunch of holes in the boat and you're just plugging them all, right? Like,
you got your toes in one of them.
Yeah, you're just plugging as many holes as you can to. Yeah. Anyway, it's all good. It's exciting stuff, and we'll figure out a way to get it done this year.
Yeah. Painted Arrow. Oh, that brings up the Moments series. That's definitely something we're going to do.
Yeah, we do it every year.
But yeah, we'll bring that to.
We'll see what it looks like this year.
Painted Arrow Then and Now. That might be the title, I think.
Wow. Yeah, I like that. Painted Arrow Then and Now.
Okay, guys. Appreciate you listening. Reach out to us. Drop a comment. We loved hearing that, reading that stuff. So appreciate it, guys. We'll talk to you in the next one.
See ya.